One thing that the Raiders have done under Art Shell is win at home, and of course being undefeated thanks to an overtime field goal last week here in the Coliseum against the Denver Broncos in a very big game. On the other side of the field, Hank Pullman still looking for his first victory after taking over a couple of weeks ago for Gene Stallings. He is 0-2. And the Cardinals in a very, very different situation than the Raiders. Here in Los Angeles, you always expect the weather to be good, and it is. 70 degrees at kickoff. The wind will not be a factor. And the field is in fairly good shape. There really hasn't been any rain for quite a while here in L.A. It's been very, very dry. In fact, they need a little bit.
3-yard pass that gives Seattle good field position. And Seattle's offense seems to go like that. They just haven't been able to put into those, 5 yards, 7 yards, 8 yards. They seem to get in a hole.
Game on ice.
No, but I don't know why.
Will be receiving, and Phoenix will be kicking off left to right. Steve Berline has become the quarterback, and Hank, it was interesting talking to him about his bum knee and his lack of mobility.
He wasn't too concerned about it, though. He thinks he's going to be in good shape. He can't push off on it as much as he'd like to. It's his right knee, but he feels he's going to be able to play very well, and that's not going to be a problem. And, interesting enough, Al DeGreco is very weak on kickoffs. He's the only kicker in the National Football League that has not kicked for a touchback all this season.
So the Raiders should have a chance to return it if that holds true to form.
In the sweet spot, as far as the return is concerned, we always thought that we'd love to get the ball about between the 6 and the 10-yard line. That's always you get a good chance to set up your return in that area.
There's Del Greco in his 6th year out of Auburn. And of the 55, he has yet to put one in the end zone. Stephon Adams, who is the special teams captain for Los Angeles, will be the single safety deep. This game far from a sellout. Last week they enjoyed one of the great crowds here in the Coliseum, which of course is a cavernous facility. But Phoenix and the Raiders, Hank, haven't played very often. There's no real rivalry or anything involved.
Well, it's amazing, going into this game with the preparation. They have only played 2 times in the history of both franchises, and they split that 2 games.
So I guess you could look upon this as the rubber game of the match. Vance Mueller is back with Stephon Adams, and Adams is going to get it at about the 8. And he has a hole. He's out to the 30 before he is dragged down by Garth Jacks, number 53. So Berline and the boys will start with good field position at their own 30. Berline will be operating behind Graves, Giesecke, Mosbar, Wisniewski, the rookie who's been outstanding, Wilkerson, and the tight end Mike Dial, a first-year player who had a huge game last week, Bo Jackson and Steve Smith, an underrated fullback, Willie Galton, Mervyn Swervin Fernandez, great speed at the wideouts. Mueller and Alexander come in a lot on third down situations. First and 10 Los Angeles at the 30. Fake to Jackson. Berline has all day. Underthrown and incomplete. Intended for Mervyn Fernandez. Defensively for Phoenix up front, they've all played different positions because one of them, or all of them, have been out at least one time. Galloway, Sadler, Waller, and Freddie Joe Nunn. The strength of their defense, probably their young linebackers, Bell, Hill, and Harvey. And then in the secondary, it's been shaken up a little as well. Cedric Mack and Carter are the corners. McDonald and Young the safeties. Marcus Turner and Michael Jordan, the extra DBs. Second and 10. LA still at their 30. Good protection again. This time it's complete to Mike Dial, the tight end. Dial right at the 40. Will be very close for a first down. Lonnie Young on the tackle.
You get a play action fake here. No, I thought he did, but he just went right back to the pocket. A short drop. And again, they're playing a zone defense, and they hit the middle of the zone. right on the button, and they pick up a nice gain on the play. But both teams like to employ an awful lot of zone defense, and that means, of course, they're playing areas instead of men.
And that might mean the tight end would be a factor. Gain of 11, first and 10, just outside the 40. Hernandez in motion. Bo Jackson's first carry. Smith with a block. And Jackson running hard for about 8. Make it 7. Out near the 47, Lonnie Young and Tim McDonald, the safeties, have to bring him down. Here are the inactive players today. Rich Camarillo is the Phoenix punter. And so backup quarterback Tom Tupa, who led the nation in college at Ohio State, averaging 47 yards a punt, will have to punt for Phoenix. There's Tom.
And I talked to him before the game, and he was excited about the opportunity to kick here this afternoon.
Second down and 4 as Bo Jackson gains 6. Jackson again. Still running hard, but gaining very little, if any. Eric Hill, the middle linebacker, finally knocking him down.
Watch the block by Smith, number 35. He gets into the guide pretty good, but it leaves his feet a little bit too soon. So as a result, he can't maintain and sustain the block, and as a result, the linebacker pops off there and comes in and makes the tackle. Had he waited just a little longer, he'd have been able to get a good inside-out block on the linebacker.
So it's third down and 4. Incomplete. It was intended for Willie Gault, and he takes exception to Carl Carter's treatment of him. But it'll be 4th and 4, and the Raiders will have to give it up.
You got to take advantage of that kind of an opportunity. That time they had a blitz, man-for-man coverage on Carter, and that ball should have been caught.
Since it wasn't, Vice Kahima drops back. Jeff Gossett is on to kick it away. Kahima standing about his 10. Second in the NFC in punt return. Fair catch at the 14. A 39-yard punt by Gossett with no return. 12 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and Phoenix will have the ball for the first time. Gary Hogeboom, who has been maligned, injured, has a injured index finger on his throwing hand, but he's in there. He and Tupa have been splitting time, and Hank, they've really been hollering for Tim Rosenbaugh, the highly touted rookie, to play some.
I think there's a good chance we'll see him if they have any trouble offensively this afternoon.
One back set with Baker and Farrell in motion. Fake to Baker. Hogeboom under pressure, and he's going to be sacked at the 5. Bob Golick and Mike Wise.
Mike Wise coming off the block of the tackle, and nobody picks him up. Hogeboom's got no chance whatsoever to do anything. It was a play-action fake. He was trying to hold the fake as long as he possibly could to get the ball deep downfield, but Mike Wise came in there and made the sack.
Wise out of there now on second down and long. Loss of 9. Hogeboom down the near sideline for Ernie Jones, but it's overthrown and incomplete. Kerry McDaniel had to cover it. It'll be 3rd and 19.
I mentioned this at the...
Well, the Chicago Bears, Hank, have been eliminated from the playoff picture by the Detroit Lions, who have really come on in the second half of the season.
Well, we had them several weeks ago, and we were amazed how enthusiastic they were about what they were doing and where they were going. Talking about Detroit, and so they evidently are continuing on that same course, beating the Bears today.
3rd and 19. Phoenix at their own 5. 4 wideouts. Low snap. for Green. Tipped away at the last second. Fine play by Mike Harden, the strong safety. Green had to hold up and wait for the pass, and Harden tipped it away.
The key here is, again, that they're throwing into a double zone. The pass was low. That made him wait a little bit. Protection is not bad, but there's coverage inside and outside. The ball is thrown over the top, and Harden, 45, makes the knockdown on the play. Good reaction on the defensive backs.
So Tom Tupa, who will punt for the first time in a regular season game, is punting from his own end zone, and he gets it away under pressure. Stephon Adams at the 49. Finally pulled down by Anthony Bell, and he almost got away from Bell. A 38-yard punt by Tupa, but an 11-yard return by Stephon Adams. So Los Angeles in business in Phoenix territory. Minutes, 15 seconds to go in the first quarter. No score here in the Coliseum. The Raiders' second possession. 1st and 10 at the Phoenix 32. Jackson in motion. Smith banging straight ahead and pushing some Cardinals backwards as he gets to the 27. Eric Hill, David Galloway, and others.
And watch Jackson on this, number 34. He's a great runner, but look, he's really improved his blocking. Watch him come into the McDonald, the strong safety. Good inside position. He stays with him. It's a very good block by Bo Jackson.
So it's 2nd down and 6. You can see that Jackson is averaging more yards per game rushing than Phoenix is as a team this year. Berline again with great protection, incomplete. He led Mervin Fernandez a little too long, and Fernandez had Cedric Mack beaten.
The other thing about that pass was the fact that it was on the line. It was on the trolley line that time. No arch whatsoever. Had a little bit more arch to it. He might have been able to run under it and make the catch. Got there too quickly.
So it's 3rd down and 5. Still at the 28. 3rd and 6 maybe. And it's complete. Marcus Allen into the game on 3rd down, making the reception in front of Anthony Bell. And it should be enough for a 1st down.
We talked to Art Shell yesterday. He indicated that Marcus would play, and he would probably play on 3rd and obvious passing situations. Here he is. He's running an option pattern. He can run either inside or outside. The ball is thrown low, but in spite of that, Bell is trying to cover on the play, but in spite of that, he makes the catch.
Will this be Marcus Allen's final game in the Coliseum as a Raider? A lot of speculation. Pitch to Jackson. Flag goes down as Jackson goes down at about the 16. Ken Harvey, the right linebacker, stopped him along with Anthony Bell. And so we'll hear from referee Dick Hantak for the first time today.
Holding. Offense, number 84. 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down. 1st down.
Tight end Mike Dial, the bad guy.
You know, the Raiders, as far as penalties are concerned, they have 108 penalties coming into this game. They're the 3rd most penalized team in the National Football League, and that's usually the way they play all year. In the history of their club,
That's
they've
right.
always led the league in that department.
Whether they're having good seasons or bad seasons, they're always up there in the penalties. They are still a tough bunch, and that's the way Al Davis likes them to be. Now the officials asking for time, and you can see that Kansas City just destroyed the Green Bay Packers today, and that's somewhat of a surprise. But Hank, your old team is having a great year.
Well, it really isn't much of a surprise because I think this time of the year, Kansas City is a very good running team, and they play very well defensively. And I thought perhaps they would win that game today. Didn't think they would win it as
The holding
convincingly.
took place on the line of scrimmage. We penalized 10 yards from the previous spot.
So they readjusted the marking of the ball, and it moves the ball back to where it is now 1st and 20. And officially the 29-yard line. Burline's time runs out, and David Galloway knocks him down. Freddie Joe Nunn had pressure on him, and Galloway finally got to him.
Galloway, number 65, gets off the ball in good shape. Burline does not move around back in the pocket at all. Galloway gets him from the inside and makes the sack. They couldn't tell for sure, but it looked like Giesick that time was trying to block it.
Jackson trying to get outside. And he is wrestled out of bounds with some authority by Lonnie Young and Cedric Mack.
You know, talking to the coaches about Bo Jackson, they marvel how tough he is and how much he loves to play. During the week, he's got some nicks and bumps and bruises like everybody else. But when the game is played, he really screws it on and is a terrific runner.
Third down and 15 at the 25 or maybe the 24. Burline will go from the shotgun. Tipped and incomplete. Anthony Bell appeared to get a hand on it. So we'll see if the Raiders will go for the field goal. They're on 4th down.
They got to be disturbed about that. You know, you get an opportunity with good field position, and you don't move the ball any better than that, you have to be concerned.
Well, they're going to try to come away with 3, and there's their field goal unit. It'll be a 42-yard attempt for Jeff Jaeger, who won the game last week against Denver in overtime. And this one he pushes to the right, and it is no good. So, Hank, your point about good field position and an opportunity not capitalized gets a little exclamation point.
He's really struggling in the field goal department. He's only made 1 out of his life.
Save the sign-up fee. Pro Watch, another AT&T advantage.
During his career, O.J. Simpson gained over 200 yards rushing in one game 6 times. If you said Simpson, you made the right choice.
This is Don Criqui with an odd Rashad, and the season could very well be on the line for Boomer Esiason, Sam Hoyt, and the Cincinnati Bengals, the defending AFC champions. They're down to Seattle 24-17, and if they lose this game, they would be down to the Houston.
Go to sleep.
The whole atmosphere here is terrific. And, of course, he's fit in beautifully and has done a terrific job. He's, like you say, he's really been very surprisingly outstanding for them.
2nd down and 8. Baker running hard in the grasp of Jerry Robinson. And Robinson, another veteran, in his 11th year.
Earl Farrell, number 31, really got a good block that time. He came in motion to the left side and got a good track block.
They like to put Farrell on the wing sometimes, Hank, and have him get his 250 pounds moving in there.
Well, he's like a guard, and he got a good angle block that last play.
So it's 3rd down and 4 from the 30. Vogelboom under pressure, dumps it off to Awalt, who makes a fine catch. And Awalt diving, trying to get to the first down marker. Robinson says he didn't make it. Terry McDaniel made the tackle.
A man coming free right in his face that time, a linebacker. But in spite of that, he still got the ball outside the Awalt, and he makes the catch very, very close to the first down.
But he is about a half yard short, so the punting unit is on, and Tom Tupa will have another opportunity to kick. Rich Camarillo, the normal punter, injured and inactive today, so it falls to the young backup quarterback. Stephon Adams back for Los Angeles. And Tupa booms a high one out of there. Adams goes back to about the 16. Ball down on a fine play by Ron Burton. A 51-yard punt and only a 6-yard return. And Hank, you know, we were talking to Hank Kuhlman, the other Hank, last night, and he had some interesting thoughts about what he felt his team needed to do today to win.
He was very emphatic about that. Number one, on offense, he said no turnovers. We can't afford turnovers. Number two, we have to average 4 yards per rush. And number three, we've got to score at least 24 points to win. On defense, he said they had to hold Bo Jackson under 4 yards, and that's quite a task. Number two, no long touchdown passes. And number three, they've got to come up with 10 big plays on defense.
That's a lot. 10 big defensive plays. Jackson on 1st and 10 has a blocker. Out to about the 32. Tedrick Mack and Lonnie Young knock him down there. And Jackson, for the first time, carries for more than 4 yards on a carry. He has the number 1 average in the NFL at 5.7, and today he's picked up 24 yards, Hank, on 4 carries, so he's averaging 6 already.
You know, he's exciting to watch, just watch him run. Even moving the pregame warm-up, I was watching him. He really creates a lot of excitement.
He almost got the first down, but he's short by that much. 6:34 remaining in the first quarter, no score. Hank Kuhlman, who was the running back coach before being elevated to replace Gene Stallings.
Yeah, I'm talking to him yesterday. He's very emotional. I thought he was getting ready to play. I was moving my chair back. I thought maybe he was going to throw a block on me especially. You're big enough. He would do that to you, but he might on me.
He was pumped. Then he can translate that enthusiasm to the team. That's what they're looking for. Steve Smith, no hole inside and no hole outside. Tim McDonald waiting for him.
You talk about a banner year for a safety man, Tim McDonald. I don't know who in the league is playing any better than he is at the strong safety position. There we see him right on the line of scrimmage like a linebacker. He wards off the block and comes right to the outside and makes the tackle. A beautiful play by Tim McDonald, number 46. And if he doesn't play in the Pro Bowl, that's really going to be a scoop.
Yeah, he certainly should. He has been the outstanding player defensively for Phoenix. It is 3rd down now and about 1.5 yards to go as Smith lost yards on the play by McDonald. Flags fly on the snap, and the pass is complete to Fernandez. And Mervin gets away from McDonald. Carl Carter finally knocks him out of bounds deep in Phoenix territory, but there is a penalty, and it may be offsides against Phoenix. Let's see.
I think it was Gary Hadd, number 73. It looked like to me.
It is offside, and a 40-yard gain that will stand for Los Angeles.
Defense. Penalty is declined. First down.
There you see him right there, number 73. Gary Hadd jumped prematurely, and of course Berline was smart enough to go ahead and execute the play. Don't worry about officiating the game. Just play the game and do your responsibility. Let the officials call the game. That's what they did here. They picked up a nice 40-yard gain.
And Mervin Fernandez can really run with it after he gets it, Hank.
Well, Cedric Mack was trying to knock the ball down, and he missed, and he went right underneath and went right down the sideline for the big game.
On first down, intended for Willie Galt, but incomplete, thrown low. So it'll be 2nd and 10. With both Galt and Fernandez, Hank, the Raiders can put some pressure on those outside defenders.
And of course, Bo Jackson in the backfield running the ball. He's so special that you have to concern yourself about him too. And an interesting story talking about Bo Jackson and talking to Al Davis yesterday. We'll talk about that in just a moment.
2nd down and 10. McDonald with the pressure. Berline gets it away. It's tipped at the last second. Cedric Mack with a fine play to prevent a touchdown. Willie Galt had him beat, but Mack got a hand on it.
He looked like he definitely had a step. There again, we talked about a moment ago. He throws the ball, a low fastball. Had it been over the top a little bit, he couldn't have made that play. Now watch Bo Jackson's block. Watch him get McDonald. But watch the great effort on McDonald's part. You don't think that's great effort and good balance and good athletic ability. A beautiful play by Tim McDonald. We just talked about him a moment ago.
Marcus Allen into the game on 3rd down and 10. Berline under pressure, gets away. No, Freddie Joe Nunn gets him by the heel. Nunn had a piece of his jersey, and Berline got away, but Nunn stayed with it to bring him down, and the Raiders will have to kick again. This will be a little longer attempt for Jeff Jaeger.
Wilkerson, the right tackle, looked like he was trying to block Freddie Joe Nunn, but he was just too quick for him and couldn't get to him, couldn't get the job done, and he made the sack.
So Jaeger will attempt a 49-yarder. Jeff Gossett, the punter, is the holder. He drives this one, but he hooks it the other way. So Jaeger now has missed all but one of the last 8 he has attempted from 40 yards or farther.
City on NBC Nightly News.
During all that has happened.
Late to Devine Sikahema out of the backfield. Sikahema fumbling it out of bounds, but he gets up to the 41. And he's close to a 1st down. Lyndon King, the 12-year veteran, bumped him out.
Sikahema is a very fine pass receiver. He's averaging 10 yards a catch. Very good for a back coming out of the backfield.
And he almost got 10 yards there, Hank, 9.5. So they're just short, and it'll be 2nd down and about a half yard to go. He's a versatile guy, too. He's good on punt returns. He could even be flanked out as a wide receiver. Sikahema carries and has the 1st down as he gets to about the 46. Ran right by Greg Townsend that time. So it'll be 1st and 10 Cardinals at their own 46.
Watch Farrell coming in motion from right to left, number 31, and he's looking to block inside and lead the play. So he goes through the hole, tries to get a block outside, but it doesn't make any difference because Howie Long gets through there and makes the tackle.
Phoenix doing all kinds of formation shifting now out of the I. Tony Baker nowhere to go. An outstanding penetration. Mark Mraz coming through to grab Baker by the ankle.
Well, one thing about the Raiders, they're really coming off the ball strong, getting a good push, getting into the gaps. And as a result, it's hard to get any penetration on the part of the offensive line of the Phoenix Cardinals.
Second and 9. For Awald, incomplete. Awald open, but the ball thrown a little too tall and a little behind him as Howie Long was putting some pressure on Hogaboom.
And Hogaboom that time was standing in the pocket with a very strong purpose of getting the ball outside. He had to move just a little bit about the time he was throwing the football.
And we'd like to welcome those of you who've been watching the Philadelphia Eagles defeat the Dallas Cowboys in Bounty Bowl 2. Steve Zabriskie and Hank Stram here at the Los Angeles Coliseum with 3:17 to go in the first quarter. No score. Phoenix with third down and about 9.5 to go. Hogaboom avoiding the pressure and getting it away. Incomplete, intended for Roy Green, covered by Terry McDaniel. So it'll be 4th and long, and again, we'll see the Phoenix punting unit.
Hogaboom looking to his right, searching over to the right side, nothing there. Escapes to the left side, throws it on the move, and McElroy goes through there and knocks the ball down.
Tom Tupa, the backup quarterback, who is punting because of an injury to Rich Camarillo, punting for the 3rd time. Stephon Adams from the 12 to about the 23. Brought down by Michael Zordich. The 40-yard punt by Tupa and a 12-yard return. Exactly 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter, and there's no score here in Los Angeles.
At the line. Between themselves and the Bears, 27-17. The Bears have won the NFC Central the last 5 consecutive years. Now they are eliminated. Not only can't they win the division title, they're out of the wild card chase. The bottom fell out in 1989.
Welcome back to the Memorial Coliseum in Los Angeles. Steve Zabriskie along with Hank Stram, and with 3 minutes to go, Hank, in the first quarter, so far a story of missed opportunities.
Yes, it's been a taffy pull so far. You know, the Raiders had good field position and had an opportunity to get 2 field goals, and they blew both of them. And of course, Phoenix has not done anything at all offensively. They only have 1 first down and made 16 total yards. That's it.
Well, they had continued to have a problem running the football, and when you're playing against the Raiders, it can be doubly difficult. But one guy who can run the football is Bo Jackson, who bangs up until Ken Harvey knocks him down, along with Eric Hill. Jackson leading the NFL in 5.7 yards per carry this year. Not bad for a hobby. That time he just got 2, so it's 2nd down and 8. Chased out of there, but gets it away. Incomplete. Mervin Fernandez hit from behind by Cedric Mack and unable to hold on. So it'll be 3rd and 8.
They had a blitz that time, and they picked it up pretty well. Berline had to shuffle around back there a little bit to get rid of the football, but he did. But it was very obvious there was good coverage on the play, and he really didn't have much of a chance to do what he wanted to do and get the ball downfield.
He's hit only 1 of his last 5 passes. And as you see, he's 3 of 10 overall. Now faced with a 3rd and 8. Los Angeles at their own 26. Incomplete. Fernandez breaking over the middle. And the ball overthrown. So the punting unit will come on again, and back and forth we go.
Very obvious that the Cardinals know exactly what Fernandez likes to do. He likes to run inside, and they had McDonald standing right in the middle area waiting for him to come into the middle.
That's a route that's his favorite, and they're going to try to take it away. Jeff Gossett on the punt, and Vi Sikahema back inside his 35. Short kick. Sikahema, no fair catch, and he's hammered after he catches it at about the 42. So a 31-yard punt, but no return. 1:59 left to go in the first quarter. Still no score. Greg Townsend, before the game, was honored with a special award that the Raiders Booster Club gives every year. It's called their Commitment to Excellence Award, voted on by his teammates. And Greg Townsend, winner of the award, named for one of the Raiders' slogans. And they have it plastered all over the Coliseum here, Hank. About 100 banners.
Well, that's what Al Davis is all about and what he believes in very strongly. He advertises it, but he lives it. Literally, he lives that philosophy.
Sikahema takes the pitch on first down, finds a little room, and squirts out to about the 46. Bob Golick and Jerry Robinson out there to knock him down.
Watch Wolfley, number 24, going to the left on the left side of your screen. Look at the good block he gets inside, outside. Look at the good block. He sustains it. Does a terrific job on Harden, the safety man of the Raiders.
Sikahema able to gain 4, partially because of that, and you can see that the Raiders have had it all their way offensively, but they've missed 2 field goals. Consequently, no scores. We're near the end of the first quarter. Wolfley, the ball carrier, as a flag goes down. Wolfley to about the 49 of Los Angeles. And it might have been Roy Green, 81, who moved too soon for Phoenix. Illegal motion against the Cardinals. Dick Hantek will tell us.
Illegal motion. Offense, number 81. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down. Second down.
So it was Roy Green, and the ball will be moved back.
Interesting, Cardinals rushing the ball in the last 2 games, Steve. The longest run by a Phoenix running back has been 6 yards. Not very impressive.
And the 4-yarder just by Wolfley was wiped out. So we're nearing a minute to play in the first quarter, and now it's going to be second down and about 12 yards to go back near the 41. Hogaboom has time and throws it behind Green. Green open a little. Lionel Washington covering, but the ball behind him. Hank, you were talking about how poorly Phoenix has been moving the ball. Here's the last 5 games and the opponents they've played and the total yardage they've rushed.
Well, the tough thing about this is the fact that they really don't have anybody to get outside. I was talking to Stump Mitchell on the field before the game, and he looks terrific, and he's excited about coming back next year. But without him, they really don't have an outside running attack, and run inside. You know, high diddle up the middle doesn't get you much.
Well, they've only got 17 today, as you can see. And now they're not going to be running as they have 4 wideouts in. 3rd down and a long 11. They are running to Sikahima on the draw, but he gets a few to the 45, and that is all. Greg Townsend makes the stop. So Phoenix and Tom Tupa will have to punt it away again. Jay Schrader, the backup quarterback, there with Berline.
Al Davis is really biting his nails up there in the press box. I bet you're watching this because of the opportunities they've had, and they haven't been able to take advantage of them.
And on each successive punt, they have lost field position, Hank, which they had twice when they missed the field goals. Tupa this time will have a chance to put them deep. A very high kick. Stephon Adams is going to let it bounce at about the 12, and it's going to roll out of bounds at about the 8 with just 1 second remaining in the quarter. So the Raiders have, in fact, lost field position on every exchange. This a 48-yard punt by Tupa. So 1 play remaining in the first quarter, and Berline and company will do it from inside their 8. Berline has not exactly set the world on fire so far. 3 of 11.
I think anytime you have a problem with your right knee, you have a hard time really pushing off the right leg, and you don't get the follow through that you should.
Bo Jackson with a good hold, and Jackson out to about the 15 in the grasp of Ken Harvey as the first quarter comes to an end. The Raiders had a chance, unable to capitalize. No score.
Here we see a picture of Al Davis in the middle of right there in the press box with a black jacket on, and I talked to him and asked him about Bo Jackson. What about baseball? What about football? Do you think he has to make a decision about one or the other? He said, no, I really want him to play both baseball and football, and I think he's got the great talent to do that, and I think we owe it to him to let him express that God-given skill. Interesting observation by Al Davis.
And it remains to be seen, of course, Hank, how much longer Jackson will choose to do that as Steve Smith carries and is short of the first down. It'll be 3rd down as the Raiders try to punch it out. from deep in their own territory as we start the second quarter. No score here in the Coliseum.
Well, what a surprise. Seattle beating Cincinnati in a game like that one.
Won
It's
2 in a
another
row.
surprise. Look at Buffalo losing again.
They're going to measure to see if, in fact, Smith had enough for the first down. And he does. By a little more than a half a football. The venerable Coliseum, site of the Olympics in 1932 and 1984. Familiar peristyle in the background. Those were there long before the Golden Arches, I think. From the 18, first and 10. Jackson. Smith and leading the way. He fumbled the ball. It's out of bounds, and the Raiders will maintain possession. But oh, what a run by Jackson, who really showed that world-class speed.
He gets around the corner, and watch Smith, number 35. He's out in front. He gets a piece of one, just enough, and he goes down for the next guy. Look at Bo Jackson. He's got the angle on those people. And in spite of that, he still goes right down the sideline. Young, number 43, finally makes a tackle. And he has really got incredible speed.
50-yard run, and had the football not hit Willie Galt's heel and gone out of bounds, Phoenix might have had a chance to recover it. But look at these runs. Now it's Smith getting outside, and Carl Carter has to bump him out of bounds. A 20-yard run by Smith. So in 2 plays, 70 yards ripped off by the Raiders.
Now we see Smith going outside. And Marcus Allen, number 32, getting a hook block on the safety man, and that's why Smith was able to get out to the outside. That's the reason the play was successful. A good block by Marcus Allen, pinning the safety man to the inside.
Now the Raiders with 110 yards. They started this drive at their own 8. And with Jackson and Smith, the last 2 carries, they get it on the ground. Flag flies as Marcus Allen had the ball, but the play will be stopped by the infraction prior to the snap.
False start. Offense, number 63. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
John Giesick, the guilty party, moving the ball back to the 17. The Raiders have been pretty good inside the 20.
Yeah, that's always been their personality. The history of this club has been they've really taken advantage of opportunities inside the 20-yard line.
First down, 15 yards to go from the 17.
They should run right if they're running right.
And movement prior to the snap again. Now Phoenix jumping, but were they drawn offside? Let's see what Dick Hantek says this time.
Encroachment. Defense, number 66. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
So Jim Waller jumped on his own. He was not drawn offside. We're back where we were.
Before the play, I said they were going right. Watch the fullback, 35 Smith. He's way ahead of the halfback, Marcus Allen. And in that case, usually the play is going to go to the right side. And that's exactly where they started to run before the penalty was called.
So we're back to the original line of scrimmage. The 12, first and 10. Straight ahead goes Marcus Allen. Couple of yards and maybe 3 inside the 10. Jim Waller and Freddie Joe Nunn combining for the stop. 13 and a half minutes left to play in the second quarter. No score here in Los Angeles, but the Raiders who have missed 2 field goals, are threatening with the ball inside the Phoenix 10. And if this is Marcus Allen's last game in the Coliseum as a Raider, what a career he has had.
And he'll continue to have outstanding years. I really believe that. He's a terrific player.
Jackson tries to cut it back, but gets maybe a yard is all, and he runs into a pile.
You know, talking about Jackson, it's amazing what a great feeling the teammates, all of his teammates feel for him. He's a big league baseball player and, of course, a great football player. They really marvel at what a great personality he has and how much of a team guy he is and how much he loves playing football and playing for the Raiders.
And you know that he certainly leaves himself open, Hank, for some animosity, missing training camp because of baseball coming in late. And it's amazing that that's not the case.
Well, you know why they don't feel that way? Because they know he's going to somehow, some way help them win.
Timeout called by the Raiders. Still no score. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I asked Steve Berline yesterday, why do you wear number 7? He said, well, a lot of people think I wear it because of Joe Theismann or John Ewart, but I wear it only because of me. My birthday was March 7th, 1965, and that's why I wear number 7.
And he wore it all through school. It's been his number since he was a kid. Since he was 7. 3rd down. Pump fake, lots of time, end zone incomplete. It was intended for number 42, Vance Mueller, who was open in the end zone, and it might have been Carl Carter who got a hand on it to tip it away.
What were they trying to do here? They were trying to hit Allen in the flat in an option pattern. He pumps, then he sees Mueller inside, throws it a little bit high. I think it was tipped. And of course it goes incomplete.
It was Eric Hill who tipped the pass. So once again, Jeff Jaeger will attempt the field goal. This one will be a 25-yarder, and this time it's good. 3rd time's a charm. He's now made 12 straight inside the 40. It's outside the 40 where he has a problem. Finally, on the 3rd attempt, the Raiders take the lead with 12:23 to go in the first half. Raiderettes entertaining, celebrating a 25-yard field goal that has given the Raiders a 3-0 lead. Jaeger will kick it off. Darrell Usher and Vi Sekihima are back. Usher ran into a pile short of the 20 and fell forward to about the 22. So Phoenix will have it 1st and 10, trailing by 3, and will return to the Coliseum in just a minute. Here's what activity today has resulted in as far as the NFC playoff picture is concerned, Hank. The 49ers, of course, are in. And Chicago eliminated. Over in the AFC, 12 teams are still alive, and Denver, playing at home against the Giants, would clinch the home field with a win. You know, with 12 teams still in the AFC, there's only, after today, 2 weeks left.
Well, that's the great thing about parity. You see, you love that because there's a lot of teams still have a chance to make the playoffs, and that's what it's all about. That's what they want.
Well, that is what they want, and that's what they're getting, is parity. In the NFC, it's a little clearer picture. The Raiders are in the hunt, but they need to win today and then win the next 2 games, which will each be on the road in order to make the playoffs. Phoenix 1st and 10. On their own 23. Raiders lead it 3-0. Ogleboom trying to set up a screen to Farrell. Farrell gets a block, but trips over his own player. Derek Kennard was making a block, but Farrell tripped over his leg. Got to almost the 29.
If you're going to run a screen, the quarterback really has to be a good actor. He's got to pretend like he's going to throw the ball downfield. They wait, let the penetration come. Watch Farrell, number 31, coming back. He's got to jump a little bit for the ball and get a block downfield, but the leg of the offensive lineman is sticking out there, and he bumped into the leg and fell right down on the play.
Picked up 6. And the Cardinals change the formation again. Farrell cuts back, has the first down as he gets to about the 36. Greg Townsend on the tackle along with Mike Harden. Earl Farrell telling us the other night about the change in his attitude now that his running back coach is the head coach.
Yes, he said, you know, I used to argue with him when he was the backfield coach. We really had some great sessions, but I don't do that anymore now that he's the head coach.
I wonder why.
Smart.
Ogleboom sacked by Howie Long. Howie Long, perhaps playing as good as at any time in his great career, would not be denied. Ogleboom sacked for the 2nd time.
Get a shot at Howie Long coming in here. There he is. He slaps away the guard, Lance Smith, and goes right in there, right at the quarterback, and makes the penetration and gets the tackle.
And now it's 2nd down. and about 17 yards to go. Howie Long coming again, but Hogeboom gets it away. Sikahema, no, he did not have control as he went out of bounds at the 36, and Hogeboom took a shot. Let's go to Brent Musburger in New York for an NFL Today update. Thanks, Brett.
Holding.
We're glad we're here.
Number 52, 5 yards, automatic first down.
So you hear defensive holding against the Raiders, moving the ball to the 34, where it'll be an automatic first down for Phoenix. They lead 3-0, and what a big addition Meggett has been to the Giants. He's having a fine rookie year as he scores for New York.
Yeah, he gives them really the outside and the home run dimension that they really didn't have without him.
Farrell trying to get away, no hole inside. And he does well to gain a few as he gets up to about the 39. Terry McDaniel, the left corner, finally got him out of bounds along with some help from his friends. We're at the Memorial Coliseum in Los Angeles, and as Brent said, the sunshine of Los Angeles, Southern California, a typically beautiful day. Steve Zabriskie and Hank Stram, where the Raiders lead Phoenix 3-0 with 9:52 to go in the second. And again, Hank, the Cardinals having a hard time sustaining a drive in the running game.
They really have. And of course, Farrell, talking to Farrell the other day, he said he doesn't carry the ball enough. He only carries about 8 times. He can't get in the flow of the game, which is probably true.
He's back at fullback now. And it's Sikahema who has it in a good hole, but it closed quickly. Coming up very quickly, Mike Harden and Tom Benson.
You know, watching this Cardinal team play, they get exactly the backs I'm talking about. They get exactly what's there. Nothing more, nothing less. Whatever the hole demands, that's what they get. And that's why they're in trouble running the football.
Whereas the great back, if I can read into what you're saying, Hank, takes something and makes more out of it than just what's there.
Well, the great back, you know, they stretch those short games and the big games. And that's the difference between the great backs and just a back.
There's the Denver Giants score, with the Giants now leading 14-0. Earl Farrell tripped up as he crosses the line of scrimmage by Howie Long. Howie Long, lying flat on his stomach, is able to reach up and trip up Earl Farrell. And Hank, you talked earlier about Stump Mitchell not being in the Cardinals lineup. There he is on the sidelines, and that's the dimension they're missing.
Yeah, and I saw him before, you know, and talked to him on the field. He's all dressed up there. I asked him, he looks like he just bought the franchise. Looks like a big typhoon there on the sideline, doesn't he? He had a nice visit, and he's very, very involved with this football team, and of course, really looking forward to coming back next year.
He had a very, very serious knee reconstruction. Second down and 4. Complete. Ernie Jones, and Jones has a first down at the Los Angeles 42. Lionel Washington and Tom Benson down there covering a 10-yard gain.
I talked about this earlier in the broadcast. Dink and dunk, they're playing a lot of zone, and that's what they have to do. They just have to be patient and throw the ball in front between the linebackers and the defensive backs, and be satisfied with that and be patient and move the ball down the field. And they don't have to play action very much because they don't run well enough to run play action passes.
Again, the Cardinals jump around and change the formation. Farrell powering straight ahead to about the 36.
They got a pretty good push that time. Pretty good push by the right side of the offensive line of the Cardinals. Robbins got off the ball in good shape that time, and so did the right guard Lance Smith.
This is by far the deepest penetration for Phoenix. They previously had gotten only to their own 47. They're now at the 36 of Los Angeles, the 9th play of the drive. And not much happening inside, maybe a couple to about the 34.
You have to be
Golick the tackle.
have to be a magician to get through those holes. we get a look at Golick, number 79, right on the center. Watch him use his hands, shed the blocker, and get right in the gap and make the play. That's a big league play by Bob Golick, number 79.
Another guy that the Raiders have picked up late in his career who has turned out quite nicely, thank you. Third down, Farrell again. Townsend has him very close to the first down.
They know you're going to go inside. That's like going through a thrashing machine. They're not getting much yardage, not much push.
Well, they know that they're unable to run outside with effectiveness, and that really, when you have one thing to defend rather than two, Hank, you can do a better job. They're going to measure to see if it is enough for the first down.
And normally, if you run from an I formation, at least you have a little room to make an outside move and maybe get outside. But from a near formation, when he's back about 4 yards, it's hard to make that adjustment.
On third down, they do have enough for the first down. At the Los Angeles 32, Phoenix will have it first and 10. They trail by 3 with just under 6 minutes remaining in the half.
You know, talking to Larry Wilson before the game, he was talking about how hard these players have played and how hard they have worked, and they just haven't been able to get it done. They're just 2 or 3 or 4 plays away from winning more games than they have.
And they've had so many injuries that this is really the first time in a long time they've had any kind of a stable lineup. On the option, Farrell fumbling the pitch. Picked up by Mike Wise. Mike Wise still going. He will score. At 6'7" and 275, he rumbles all the way.
Here's the option, because right down, everything was perfect. Everything gets the ball outside, but Farrell did not have control of the football and lost it. Mike Weiss picks it up. Look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at all the black jerseys out in front of that ball carrier. That's good coaching, good hustle. And look at Weiss. Uh-oh, there he is. He's given the high-five cross that time.
The Raiders score their 6th defensive touchdown of the year, and Mike Wise is not going to let that ball get away. A 64-yard fumble recovery to make it 9-0 with the extra point to come. Wise is out of the University of California at Davis, which is in Northern California between San Francisco and Sacramento. And there's a review going on. Bill Swanson is the replay official, and they are reviewing the play. Let's go back and look at it ourselves.
And it all starts, it's a perfect call, the one way to get outside the option, but you see that he doesn't have possession of the ball, control of it. And as a result, Mike Weiss picks it up. Look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4.
After further review, we have a reversal. The ball was a backward pass, not possessed by the ball carrier. Therefore,
the crowd is not going to like it. And neither does Mike Wise.
The defense can only recover. They may not advance. First and 10, Los Angeles.
Let's take another look at it as the 64-yard return is wiped out.
Here we see it again. It is a backward pass, a lateral. He doesn't have possession of it. The rule says that you can recover that, but you can't run with a fumble.
Huh?
Here we see Mike Weiss, who just ran 64 yards for a touchdown that didn't count. And as soon as he gets through here, he's going to call the fire department and get a big resuscitator down there to make sure he makes it the rest of this game.
Dialing 911 shortly. Raiders have it 1st and 10 at their own 36. They lead 3-0 as the touchdown is wiped out, and Burline going long. Willie Gault has it. He beats Cedric Mack for a 47-yard gain to the 17 at Phoenix.
Burline gets back in the pocket in good shape, sets up nicely, good pass protection, throws the ball deep downfield, and Willie Gault, see the ball is thrown on the outside, and he makes the adjustment, makes the move, a beautiful catch, and it deceived Cedric Mack a little bit. Here we see it again. Look at the pressure, but he stays in the pocket and throws it right over the top.
Bo Jackson on 1st down. It's a couple down to the 15. Willie Gault with a 47-yard gain. He's not only had some big play here, but he's had quite a few of them this year.
Well, you know, the other thing about Gault is that we talked about throwing vertically. Al Davis says, we don't want to take what they give us, we're going to take what we want. And that's the way they like to throw the ball, and even though they're in a zone defense, they're going to throw the ball up on top.
Willie Gault with world-class speed. He and Willie Anderson of the Rams leading the pack. And Burline sacked, and the ball came free. Is it a fumble? No. Yes, it is. Dick Hantek shaking his head no, but Eric Hill came up with the ball.
Eric Hill, the middle linebacker, number 58. He's blitzing on the play. Watch him. He comes right up. Nobody touches him. There he is. Burline is trying to escape. He can't do it. He drops the football. And look at Hill roll around and come back and finds the ball and pounces on the ball. A great blitz by Hill and a recovery also by Hill, number 58.
So he got the sack and he got the fumble recovery on the same play. Second sack of Burline, and the Raiders are turned away again. 1st and 10 Phoenix, just outside their 25. Hogaboom faking and now throwing over the middle and completing it to Ernie Jones. And Jones is blasted right away by Eddie Anderson. It's a 16-yard gain, and Ernie Jones is shaken up. And when you hear the story of Eddie Anderson's bench pressing ability, you'll know why he's able to make hits like this.
There you see the escape, and he throws the ball down the field to Jones. Watch the hit. Boy, that's really thumping somebody.
4:07 to go in the second. Here's the hit again by 33 Eddie Anderson, the free safety.
And he's 6'1", he weighs 200, and he bench presses 500 pounds.
He is some kind of strong, and he just laid out Ernie Jones. 1st and 10, Phoenix. Incomplete. Pulled away at the last second from the intended receiver, Don Holmes.
And again, we're talking about Anderson. He bench presses 500 pounds, and he was so intent on working with the weights that Willie Brown, the great defensive back and Hall of Famer for the Raiders, had to go in and say, listen, that's too much. You're overdoing it. You're going to wind up being a linebacker.
That's right. Maybe that's what he'd like to be. When we mentioned the name Jack Tatum the other day, that's the guy that the Raider players immediately thought of, was Anderson. 2nd down and 10. Hogaboom stepping up, incomplete, intended for Roy Green, and the flag goes down. Lionel Washington is going to be called, and he doesn't like it. He's in the face of Phil Bates, the back judge, who made the call.
Hogaboom wants to dump the ball off with a dunk, but he doesn't get a chance to. He jumps into the pocket. Now watch Washington, and the ball pops out of there. I don't know why they call pass interference unless they maybe thought he tackled him before he made the catch.
Well, that was close. Close enough to be called, apparently, in spite of Washington's objection.
I'll tell you one thing, there was very, very good coverage on the part of the Raiders all the way over the field that time, including Washington's coverage, even though they called the penalty.
So it moves the ball to the 46, where it's 1st and 10. Hogaboom has a lot of time, but again, nobody's open, so he'll run, and Townsend runs him down from behind. What a good gain by Hogaboom of 8 or 9 yards.
Now Hogaboom really is not what you'd call an escape artist, but he's got a good feel for pressure. The pass protection is good. Look at all the time he's got. Look at all the time he's looking. He sees the big seam in the middle, and immediately takes off. He knows what he has to do, gets as much out of that play as he possibly can. A good play by Gary Hogaboom.
2nd down and 1. Batted back in his face. Bob Golick appeared to get a hand on it. Well, it's going to be 3rd down and a yard to go. Golick's been hitting the helmets many times. His stripes off center.
Here he is, 79. There the hand comes up.
It could have been either Golick or Howie Long. They both had their arms.
Yeah, it looked like it really was Howie Long that made the tip.
Nonetheless, it's 3rd and 1. Earl Farrell straight ahead, and he may have it. It's going to be very close. It is enough for a 1st down.
They got the 1st down, but they didn't have much room, especially for that big back. That big back like Farrell, who weighs about 240. Hard time going through those skinny holes.
He got the ball nearly to the 35. Earl's lost about 10 pounds this season. Hogaboom under pressure, lofting it for Ernie Jones, who has a touchdown. And a flag goes down, but it's probably going to be an interference call again against the Raiders.
Probably Washington, number 48.
Let's hear what Dick Hantak has to say.
Pass interference, defense, number 48. Penalty is declined. Touchdown.
A 35-yard touchdown pass to Ernie Jones, and the Cardinals have taken the lead.
Play action fake. and give Gary Hogeboom a lot of credit, throwing the ball falling away, and he throws it right over the top of Washington. And they call pass interference on the play. You see what he does. He's got his left hand on his left shoulder while the ball is coming down. It's a good call, and it was definitely pass interference.
And a fine catch by Ernie Jones. Good job to hold on and get it into the end zone. So Al Del Greco will boot the extra point, and with 2:16 left to go in the first half, the Phoenix Cardinals, on an impressive drive, lead the Raiders now 7-3. This first promo after the kick. Ernie Jones in his second year out of Indiana with a fine catch, a good throw by Hogeboom, and a 7-3 Phoenix lead as we near the 2-minute mark of the first half here in Los Angeles. That was an impressive drive, Henry, by the Cardinals.
It really was. They ran a little bit, and of course they got the big play with a play-action pass that got the touchdown by Jones.
Had they not been able to run a little bit, the play action might not have worked. So now Del Greco will kick it off. Vance Mueller and Stephon Adams are deep, and the kickoff goes out of bounds. So Los Angeles will have an opportunity to start at their own 35. Well, next Saturday, CBS Sports will bring you a full day of sports action. The NFL Today will start off at 12 noon on Saturday, followed by the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants. And then at 3:45, the season premiere of college basketball on CBS as the Blue Demons of DePaul take on the North Carolina Tar Heels. That's all next Saturday, beginning at noon with the NFL Today right here on CBS. .212 left to play in the half. 1st and 10 Los Angeles at their own 35. Phoenix now leading 7-3. Bo Jackson with blockers to about the 42. Knocked down by Tim McDonald and Carl Carter. Bo now has carried 10 times for 95 yards. 2-minute warning here in the first half. We'll return in just a minute. Howie Long taking a break as the Raiders offense is on the field with 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Phoenix has all 3 of their timeouts remaining, and the Raiders have 2. Coming up at halftime, be sure to stick around. Brent and Herb will have all the scores and highlights for you, as well as the latest developments from around the league on the NFL Today halftime report. Second down and 2.
Here again, they should be coming this way if they run.
A preliminary jump, and Bo Jackson coming this way with blockers. He has the first down and more as it gets near midfield. And it looked like Jim Waller for Phoenix, number 66, the defensive right tackle, may have jumped. And it is against the Cardinals. This turned out to be more complicated than we thought.
Offside, defense, number 66. Penalty is declined. It is a first down.
It is Waller, and they'll take the Bo Jackson run. We're at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. Steve Zabriskie and Hank Stram with 1:54 left to play in the half. Phoenix is leading the Raiders 7-3. First down. Good protection. Complete. Mervin Fernandez wrapped up by Carl Carter. But another first down, and it's in Phoenix territory, a gain of 18.
Fernandez is anchored on the left side. Good protection. Look at all the time. Step, throw, follow through. There's the ball right on the money in front of the defensive back, Carter, number 41. He tries to get up the field, but Carter lassos him there and makes the tackle.
Berline to pass on first down again, firing over the middle, and it's for Fernandez, a complete at the 14. Fine catch by Swerve and Mervin, and timeout called by Berline. This will just be a 40-second timeout. And the Raiders will have one more remaining.
Here's the last pass again. Look at all the time he's got to throw the ball. That's the key to the success of that play. Throwing inside to Fernandez. And here again, you know, talking to him yesterday, it's surprising. I said, if you had a chance to run one pattern, just one, what's the pattern that you like most of all? He said, I like to run across the middle about 18, 20 yards. There was a great illustration on that last play. He loves to run that route.
And that's unlike most wide receivers, Hank, but he's a little bigger than most wide receivers.
Yeah, most outside receivers want to run to the post, or want to run a streak, or want to run a post corner, but he wants to come inside, unusual.
Fernandez, of course, had many great years in the Canadian Football League. Just another example of players that the Raiders pick up from here, there, and everywhere and have great success with. First and 10 from the 14 of Phoenix. Bo Jackson chased by Freddie Joe Nunn and hauled down as Jackson gets maybe a yard. Jackson over 100 yards today for the 5th time in his career.
Watch Nunn come over here. Look at this. Look at the speed of Freddie Joe Nunn. Gets a good angle and makes a tackle. A great play by him.
Berline throwing it, and Fernandez going the other way. Fernandez ran a curl route, and Berline threw it to the back corner of the end zone. So 38 seconds remaining in the half, and it'll be 3rd down and about 9. This is the 4th time, Hank, that the Raiders have been inside the 20. They missed 2 field goals, made a 25-yarder. So we'll see what they do here.
They'll probably bring Marcus Allen in the game, and Mueller, I would think. Marcus Allen is an excellent receiver and runs very precise routes.
Marcus Allen is in there in the backfield along with Smith as Fernandez is in motion. 3rd down and 9. Berline to the end zone, incomplete, intended for Willie Gauld, who was open, And Carl Carter pushed him again, as he and Galt have really been going at it, and Galt pushed him back. And the flag goes down, and it's probably going to be on the retaliator, as usual. Galt was open, but the ball was overthrown. But the action really took place after the play. .32 seconds remaining. Pending the outcome of the penalty, it's going to be 4th down for the Raiders.
Really a bad play by Willie Galt. The pushing play after the play was over.
We have holding on the offense, number 68. We have personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the defense, number 41. Penalties are offset. They're down.
So they didn't get Willie Galt for retaliating.
No, I was surprised at that. Now watch Carter. Watch Carter. This is it here, I guess. Well, he didn't do anything bad. He just kind of bumped into him a little bit, and Galt gave him a shove in the back. I don't understand that one.
I don't either. That's a holdover from the previous play earlier in the game where they wrestled each other out of bounds.
I can't understand that one at all.
So it's 3rd and 9 again for Los Angeles. Incomplete. Intended for Willie Galt again, and this time it was Cedric Mack who was all over. 24 seconds remaining in the half. It'll be 4th down.
Here again, the key. You get this kind of pass protection and on this area, you ought to be able to complete the pass. He escapes, goes to the right side, plenty of time to throw the ball looking, throws the Galt inside, and look at the coverage on the play. Cedric Mack, 47, gets up with the right hand, knocks it down, the left hand is free. No pass interference on the play. Really a great play by Cedric Mack.
So here's Jaeger for a 30-yard field goal attempt. And he drives it right through there to be 2 out of 4 on the day. All the Raiders have been able to come up with 2 field goals by Jaeger, and it is now 7-6 with 21 seconds remaining in the first half. Jaeger's unconscious from inside the 40, but shaky outside the 40. 2 teams here, Hank, who have had coaching changes already this season, with Art Shell and Hank Kuhlman each taking over. But they're not alone, and I think there may be some more to come.
I'm sure that's a feeling around the league, that there might be another 3 or 4 moving on to another location after the conclusion of this season. And if we win and I get a chance to stay, that's great. If I don't, that's the way it is. But at least I'll be able to look myself in the mirror and be able to shave without being ashamed.
Short kick taken by one of the up men, Walter Reeves. And now just 15 seconds remaining in the half, and Phoenix has the ball back. The Raiders.
A lot of mistakes. They don't take advantage of the opportunities. But in the past, when they got you down, they would take advantage of those opportunities.
Hogaboom under pressure, and he's hammered by Scott Davis. Sacked for the 3rd time. However, perhaps somewhat surprisingly, have the lead. Meanwhile, the Raiders have been able to capitalize only twice for field goals.
Well, you know, that really is a meaningless thing because, you know, I remember one year we...
Darrell Usher are back deep for Phoenix. Sekahina at the 8-yard line. Out to about the 24. The Raiders have had very, very good special team coverage. In fact, they rank 2nd and 1st in kickoff and punt coverage.
And people don't realize sometimes how important that is. You know, there's 3 ways you can win a game with offense, defense, and especially teams. And if you can win 2 out of the 3, you usually win that game. And that's why the specialty teams are so very important.
Stephon Adams, 44, the captain of that special team unit. Fumble. Nobody is touched, and now he's touched. The ball was picked up by Tom Benson, and the Raiders have it. Mike Harden made the hit that knocked the ball loose, and Tom Benson recovered the fumble.
And there you see the hit. A good straight ahead shot, fumble, and Benson, number 54, recovers the fumble, and the Raiders have great field position and a terrific way to start the third quarter. But again, the important thing is they have to take advantage of it, which they haven't been able to do so far.
So they get it again, deep in Phoenix territory. It's 1st and 10 at the Phoenix 25. The second Cardinals turnover. Fake to Jackson, now pitch to Jackson. It must have been a broken play.
They went the wrong way. They were supposed to go to the right, and they went left.
And I think it was Steve Smith, the fullback, that really was the first one to make the mistake because he broke before the snap.
Well, he was leading the play to make a block, and he went to the wrong side. He went left instead of to the right.
Bo Jackson probably said, I know I'm supposed to go right, but since he's going left, I'm going with him.
I'm going to join the party.
Burline didn't know what to do with it. So it's back to the 31, a loss of 6. Second down and 16. Jackson gets it back and a little bit more as it gets to the 24. Bo already over 100 yards today.
You know, I'm watching Bo run. He's such a great runner, and he does a terrific job from all formations. But I really think that, you know, he does such an exceptional job from the I formation where he has 2 extra yards to run and read and respond and see what he's doing. And I think he's much, much more effective to make big plays from that formation maybe than he would from the normal formation.
With his speed, it certainly helped him get outside.
Well, you have to get him in space. That's the important thing.
He's out of there now as it is 3rd down and 9. Over the middle, incomplete, intended for Mueller. Mueller covered by Ken Harvey, but the ball just overthrown. So again, Los Angeles will have to go for the field goal.
Throwing right down the middle with a linebacker covering on the play. The ball is right over the top, perfectly thrown. And it looked like it was just a little bit too high for him to make that play.
Jaeger will attempt a 42-yarder, and it's beyond 40 where he's had trouble. Knuckleball hits the upright and is no good. Jeff Jaeger fails again from beyond 40 yards, and it remains Phoenix 7, Los Angeles 6. Misses another 40-plus yard field goal.
You know, the tough thing about missing a field goal as far as professional football is concerned, somebody has to go over to Jaeger and try to pep him up a little bit. You know, everybody escapes and leaves him, and he's got all that time to worry about the kicks that he's missed, and he's got to do something about it.
Good fake by Hogeboom as it gets it to Earl Farrell, and Farrell gets out to about the 38. Let's go back and take a look at the missed field goal as Jaeger has only made 1 of his last 9 outside of 40 yards.
You can't see what happened on the play from this angle, but you know, sometimes the left foot, if it's not exactly right, or if you're too close to the ball and you don't get a chance to get the flaps up.
Unnecessary roughness defense, personal foul, unnecessary roughness offense, penalties are offset. First down.
Well, again, there was a little extracurricular activity after the play, so the penalties wipe each other out. Jerry Robinson called the infraction on the part of the Raiders. I don't know if somebody might have gotten a hand on that ball, Hank. The way it went up there.
Yeah, it was funny the way it went up there. If nobody touched it, he had to kick it right in the middle of the ball to kick it that low. Really hard to tell.
Here's Farrell again, and he gets a couple to about the 41. Minnesota scoring 43 today. Okoye, 131 yards.
Big win for Kansas City, and Chicago's knocked right out of the playoffs. Good game here, 2017 by Houston.
Seattle Seahawks winning again, this time beating Cincinnati. On second down, Sikahema hit right away by Tom Benson as he got to the line of scrimmage. And he picks up maybe a yard.
Benson, number 54, comes in on the left side here. There you see him. Nobody touches him. Good anticipation. He sees the hole and gets into the gap as soon as he possibly can. Gets penetration and makes the play. Great reaction on the part of Benson.
That's what you call filling the hole. Third down. From the shotgun, full wide out. Hogaboom chased out. Nowhere to go. Mark Mraz and Jerry Robinson get him down. Phoenix will kick it away.
You talk about a good hit that time. Robinson really got the shoulder pads on him that time and gave him a big tattoo right in the chest.
That is the 4th sack for the Raiders. Tom Tupa doing the punting today for the injured Rich Camarillo. Stephon Adams is deep. And Tupa booms it. Adams at about the 7th. Dropped as he gets across the 15. And again, it's Garth Jacks who makes a lot of special teams tackles. Tupa's done a fine job. That's another 51-yard punt. And another fight breaks out after the play. And another penalty flag goes down. Ron Wolfley, as usual, in the middle of it, number 24 for Phoenix. Dick Hantak and the crew have been busy, Hank, but most of them have been after plays have been over.
Yeah, this Cardinal team is hung in there just like
Personal
Larry Wilson
foul.
said they
LA,
would.
unnecessary roughness. Personal foul. Phoenix, unnecessary roughness. Penalties are offset. First down.
No, that's what usually happens. Well, the playoff races are heating up, and CBS kicks off next Sunday's action with the NFL Today, followed by games which will affect the playoff picture. Some of you will see Green Bay and Chicago, while others of you will see Minnesota and Cleveland in an interconference matchup. It's next Sunday, starting with the NFL Today, right here on CBS. Raiders trail by 1, 10:45 to go in the third, 1st and 10. Jackson. And he's going to be thrown for a loss back at the 10-yard line. David Galloway got such penetration that Jackson couldn't get out of the backfield. Tim McDonald on the stop.
That time they ran from the I formation, but kind of a counter play. He seems like he does such a terrific job whenever he has the ball, of course, but it still seems to me that if he just pitched the ball to him outside from the I formation, he can make a lot of yardage.
Tim McDonald really has been the high point of the Cardinals defense this year. And as you said earlier, Hank, if he's not in the Pro Bowl, we might have an investigation. Phoenix may have jumped off sides before the snap. Jackson getting outside and getting up to about the 19 before he's run out of bounds. It looked like Freddie Joe Nunn jumped early on the left side. Offsides against Phoenix. I'll tell you, a lot of meetings going on today.
Offside. Defense, number 78. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down. 2nd down.
Well, it was Freddie Joe Nunn. We'll look at it again.
On the left side there, Freddie Joe Nunn, number 78. There he is. He jumps 5 yards.
That moves the ball out to the 15. It is 2nd down and 12. And a flag again goes down after the play. A 23-yard gain.
It looked like Bo Jackson moved before he was supposed to go at time, and whether he got back in time or not, I don't know. But there was movement before the ball was snapped.
Yeah, he definitely picked his hand up, but no flag was thrown on that. The flag was thrown after the play was over yet again. If the completion stands, it would give Los Angeles a first down.
Delay of the game. Demonstration by the offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So they are calling Mervin Fernandez for spinning the football after the play. Boy, that to me, Hank, is a pretty borderline call.
That really is. Watch. Carter's looking inside. Evidently he's playing a zone. And Fernandez goes inside, catches the ball high, gets hit there by Cedric Mack. And then now here's where he got the penalty. He gives it the old tops job, a little spin there. Does a good job, makes the spin good.
Yeah.
It was Lonnie Young who made the tackle. I'm sorry, I think it was Lonnie Young, 43.
So the delay of game penalty for Fernandez spinning the ball as he released it, moves it back inside the 30. Now, is it a first down or isn't it? They have not moved the chain.
It's been like 5 yards. It is first and 10.
Right, it certainly ought to be first and 10 as it came after the play. Now they do move the chain. So it's from the 30 now, first and 10 Los Angeles. Not only have we seen quite a few penalties, Hank, we've seen some different penalties.
Unusual penalty. Yes, that's right.
Jackson, maybe 3 to the 33 is all. He's going to go back over 100 yards. He was over 100, and then the loss of 7 moved him back under 100, and so he could be back at 100 yards now. Third quarter, Giants still leading Denver 14-0. Giants have got to have it in the snow. Cleveland by 7 over Indianapolis. Jackson is right at 100 yards for the third time today. Mike Dial with another big catch. Down to the 35 of Phoenix. Cut down by Carl Carter. A 33-yard gain by the young man who was certainly the star last week.
They're coming after him, and they got. He steps up into the pocket. A good push on the outside, and he gets the ball right there in the middle area. It looked like it was a zone again. He hit the middle spot, made the catch. And of course, he's the kind of a guy you want to hit in that situation with zone coverages, because the tight end or the back should have a great opportunity to make catches.
Dial, a 240-pounder out of Texas A&M. Steve Smith cutting it back. And getting a cue down to the 32, Eric Hill on the tackle for Phoenix. 7:48 to go in the third quarter. Phoenix by 1, and the Raiders driving.
This year, the Raiders have played a lot of good football, but they just haven't had really any consistency at the quarterback position.
Berline has them moving on this drive, but they have stalled out. Jackson cutting it back, tripped up by Lonnie Young, and then covered by Eric Hill. And Jackson maybe gained a yard at most. Bo today still right at 100 as he's credited with no gain, but he's still outrushed the Cardinals by 32 yards. Third down, 7.
The Cardinals have two good safety people, I tell you, in Young and McDonald.
They have been coming up and supporting very well. You're right, Hank. Over the middle again, incomplete, intended for Marcus Allen. He was open at about the 20, but the pass was too tall.
He gets a little pressure from the inside. There you see it. You see the hit. It looked like Sadler got the penetration and got the hit right about the time he was getting ready to throw the football, and he throws it incomplete.
Well, here's Jeff Jaeger for another plus 40 field goal attempt. 48 yards. He's 1 for 9. He hit this one very well, and it is good. Maybe they ought to say 10th time's a charm. The Raiders go back out in front 9-7 on a 48-yarder by Jeff Jaeger. North Carolina. Sekahima out to about the 28, dragged down by Stephon Adams. And Hogaboom and the Cardinals will go back on the attack, with the Raiders leading now 9-7. 3 Jeff Jaeger field goals, 2 in the second quarter and 1 here in the third. Hogaboom with the pass to Ernie Jones in the second quarter for their only score. First and 10 at the 28. Earl Farrell driving forward to about the 33. Tom Benson and Greg Townsend on the tackle, a gain of about 5. Farrell and the Cardinals have not had a back, Hank, gain 100 yards in a game for the last 21 games. And Farrell with only 39.
Well, it's a problem, and he admitted the other day, talking to him, he said we really miss Stump Mitchell, right? Because he used to take an awful lot of pressure off of me. Now all the pressure's on me.
Hogaboom under pressure, drops the ball. Who's got it? It looks like Phoenix has recovered, and it looked like Scott Dill who fell on it. But that will go as a sack, the 5th for the Raiders.
There is a play action fake, and look at on the outside. He goes around the block and then makes the tackle in the sack. We're talking about Townsend. And he's very quick, very aggressive, and really gets off the ball well.
But the Cardinals retain possession. It is 3rd down and 11. Roy Green in motion from the shotgun. Flags fly. The play will be stopped.
False start. Offense, number 61. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Lance Smith, the right guard, moving too soon. And the penalties are hurting the Cardinals.
Can't get over all the penalties this late in the season. Now, this looks really, in a lot of cases, like a preseason game with all the mistakes that are being made here. Basic fundamental mistakes here that have been made here this afternoon.
And on both sides of the ball, too. Neither team has been exempt. So now it's 3rd and 16. We've had a total of 9 penalties. And a lot of offsetting penalties on top of that. Incomplete, intended for Jones. It hit him in the hands, and the Phoenix Cardinals will have to give it away. Let's go back to Brent for an NFL Today update. Thanks, Brent. That is a game that the Giants need to win, and they're certainly playing like it, Hank, with that fourth down goal line stand. Stephon Adams calling for the fair catch, and again, Tupel with an outstanding punt. Back to the 28. A 51-yard punt. Tupa's had 3 or 4 of them over 50 yards today. Looking on, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I think they will. I think they will move, and a lot of speculation about where they're going to go. I don't think anybody knows that except Al Davis, and I don't think they're going to go back to Oakland.
You don't?
Nope.
Maybe Sacramento? First and 10, Raiders. Erline with good protection hits Fernandez. First down in Phoenix territory at the 49. Carter and McDonald get him after a gain of 24.
See, you wonder why does he get open in the middle area? Play action fake, good protection. But the reason he gets into that middle area because Gall is cleaning it out, and he's got plenty of room underneath as Galt cleans out that deep area. And that's what you have to have. You didn't throw the ball vertically. You have to have somebody with lightning speed to clean it out so you can throw underneath.
Swervin Mervin now with 120 yards in receptions on the day. Steve Smith will go nowhere. And a good play by Rod Sadler, who was in there quickly about the same time as Smith got the ball. We have just over 3 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Los Angeles leading Phoenix 9-7. And the Raiders with a second down. 10.5 to go from the 49 of Phoenix. Knocked in the air and up for grabs. Caught by Dial. Mike Dial's going to be ruled down where he caught the ball. Erline's arm was hit, and Dial came up with it.
He should have signaled for a fair catch. That ball went right up in the air, looked like a punt, and he comes down with the ball. Dial does 84. Watch what happens here. Watch Erline go back into the pocket. Look at their blitz. In the mid, he throws the ball, gets hit. It goes right up in the air like a punt. Watch Dial, number 84. He comes in. He's very alert. He makes a terrific play of making that catch.
Oh, he's having a big game again after last week. He caught that ball right over Anthony Bell. Third down, draw play. And not quite enough. To about the 39. They needed to get past the 39 for the first down. It's going to be fourth and less than a yard as Marcus Allen was short and the crowd wants Art Shell to go for it.
Art Shell told us that Marcus Allen would probably play this afternoon, but in a limited capacity, would run draws and also run some patterns. That's exactly what he's done.
Trey Junkin, a backup tight end, is in the game. Along with Steve Wright. So they actually have 3 tight ends on fourth down. Jackson going to be very close.
He made the yardage. He got a pretty good push at the end. It looked like it was going to be a little cluttered when he hit the hole, but he got a pretty good push.
He made it. You're right, Henry. First down, Raiders.
Good time now for a play-action pass after slamming it in there like they did. This would be a good time, a perfect time for a play-action pass right here.
The ball is at the 38 of Phoenix. 40 seconds remaining in the third quarter. And the Raiders, who trailed, now lead by 2. This is the 6th play of the drive. Fake play-action pass. Erline going long as the penalty flag is down, incomplete. Intended for Willie Galt. And Lonnie Young, the free safety, just tore the ball away from him. But there was a flag at the line of scrimmage. Holding against Los Angeles. While we get the call, let's go back to New York and another NFL Today update.
Offense, number 68.
Thanks, Brent. Boy, when you're up against Elway and company, and especially on their home turf, Hank, it's not easy.
Yeah, anything can happen with a great quarterback like he is, and of course the things he does on his own to make things happen. It's never over until it's over.
The holding penalty was actually on two different players. Bruce Wilkerson and Don Mosbar of the Raiders were both called for offensive holding. So it's going to be first down and 20. Ball now back at the 48 of Phoenix. Smith in motion. Fake pitch. Burline setting up a screen to the tight end. Overthrows the intended receiver, Ethan Horton. Horton, who was a fine running back at the University of North Carolina many years ago, now a tight end. And Gary Hadd was shaken up on the play for Phoenix.
It was a good idea, but bad execution.
So it's going to bring up second down and 20. And, you know, we talked, Hank, about how the Raiders want to go vertical. They want to stretch that field. And they've been successful at over 40 yards, but they haven't thrown as many times deep.
No, they haven't. And, of course, they're very concerned about Galt. You know, they're going to try to double him most of the time. And so then you have to do something else for the remaining backs or tight ends.
Over the middle again to Galt, complete at the 30, and he's pushed back by Carl Carter. They'll give him his forward progress to the 31. But there is another penalty flag down. A gain of 17 is going to be wiped out again by holding against the Raiders. Eight seconds remaining
Holding.
in the quarter.
Offense, number 63. 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down. Second down.
Well, this time it's John Giesek, the left guard. And so the Raiders are going the wrong way. They are now back to the 42, and it's the 11th penalty of the game. You add to that all the extracurricular stuff and the offsetting unnecessary roughness penalty, and a few calls. Now time runs out as they started the clock, and it ran out before a play could get off. That's the end of the third quarter with the score still Los Angeles 9 and Phoenix 7.
In practice.
He looks like he can still go out there and kick a 40-yard field goal. Bo Jackson trying to get outside left. Nothing but white shirts. And gains perhaps a 2 is all. Anthony Bell and Tim McDonald out there. We're at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Steve Zabriskie and Hank Stram, where the Raiders are leading the Phoenix Cardinals 9-7 as we start the fourth quarter of play. And it has been a tight game all the way. And as has been a tradition here, the Raiders are sitting on their helmets.
Greg Townsend, number 93, who's done an outstanding job this afternoon and also during the course of the season.
Yep. Presented with the Raiders Commitment to Excellence Award prior to the game. Third down and a cab ride. Screen over the middle, incomplete to Marcus Allen, and another penalty flag goes down. They've been trying to get the ball to Allen, but they have been unable to. And it's going to be against the Raiders again. Marcus Allen, of course, won the Heisman Trophy. The Raiders seem to have a corner on the market.
Offense, number 68. Penalty decline. Fourth down.
Bruce Wilkerson again the guilty party, so the Raiders will have to punt it away on 4th and 29. By Sikahema, dropping back to about his 15. Jeff Gossett will kick it away from outside his 30. hanger and a good one. Sikahema at the 9. And he can't get away. Fine play by Dan Ladd to drop him almost in his tracks. A 48-yard punt and just a 1-yard return. We mentioned Marcus Allen as a Heisman Trophy winner on the Raiders. He's not alone, Hank, as a Heisman Trophy winner. These are some of the Heisman Trophy winners the Raiders have had over the years.
Yeah, some great names. Jim Plunkett, and we mentioned Marcus Allen. Tim Brown is not able to play. He'll be back next year. Billy Cannon, who did such a great job for the Raiders. And, of course, Bo Jackson.
And the Cardinals have had one. Can you name him?
Oh, there it is. John David Crow, and he was a super player.
Texas A&M University. This is the Phoenix Cardinals' worst starting field position today as Sikahema cuts it back and gets out to about the 16. Dragged down by Jerry Robinson. So a good gain on first down. Sikahema out of Brigham Young University has been a versatile do-everything guy. Gain of 6, second down and 4. Earl Farrell squeezing through a hole before he's driven back at about the 20. He's going to be close to a first down. Howie Long and Mike Wise making the tackle. We'll see if he got enough. He did. He got enough for the first down. There is the very highly touted draft choice Tim Rosenbaugh, who is on the sidelines, who has hardly played at all. And Hank, there's a clamoring in Phoenix for him to get in the game.
Well, I asked him before the game whether he thought he would play, and he said he thought perhaps he would. If they got into trouble, they're not in trouble yet. You know, I think what's happened here this afternoon is certainly not the fault of Jerry Hogaboom.
Hogaboom to pass on first down. Has time. Incomplete. Tipped and incomplete. Roy Green missed it, but it was up for grabs for a few seconds, but landed out of bounds.
And watch Washington. Lionel Washington, 48. A bump and run. He gives him a shove after he goes by the 5-yard area. The ball is thrown over the top. But you talk about good coverage. You talk about being with him step for step. Washington was that.
The ball then hit Tom Benson's arm and was up in the air. There with the glasses, Tim Brown, one of the 3 Heisman Trophy winners the Raiders have on the roster right now. Brown is on injured reserve. Over the middle for Ernie Jones, who can't hold on. Again, he is hammered right away. Lionel Washington and Ernie Jones have been going at it all day long.
Washington, 48. Jones coming off the ball, looking inside. The ball is thrown high, and he just makes a tackle. That's all. He just makes a tackle right about the time the ball goes over the top of his head.
But Ernie Jones should have caught that ball.
He should have. He had a chance to make the catch. He was a little high, but I guarantee you he was fully aware of where Washington was.
And they're wrestling again on the ground after the play. Third down and 10. The Raiders lead by 2. 12-18 to go in the fourth quarter. Complete. Jay Novacek with the catch for a first down at the 31. Dennis Price and Jerry Robinson get him after a gain of 11.
There's another donut shot there. Dinkin. But really, you know, it's really surprising to watch the Raiders. Unusual, because normally they're very much of a man-for-man team, bump and run. They're playing a lot. This time it's double zone. And that's what they have to do. Be patient. Throw the ball in front of, between linebackers, between the linebackers and also the defensive backs. You got it right on the money.
First and 10 is a 31. Carroll in motion. Hogaboom again with time and completes it. At the 40, maybe a little short of the first down, to the tight end Rob Awalt. Mike Harden on the stop. Awalt looks like he has a bionic elbow there. Huh?
This time of the year, look at that pad. Look at the size of it. They got pads all over them because most of them are playing with a lot of aches and pains, which is expected this late in the season.
Ewald, one of the very few not to be out with an injury for Phoenix this year.
Almost like it looks like a baseball glove hanging on his elbow.
or a hockey goalie's glove. Second down and 1. Nowhere to go. Bob Golick waiting right in the hole. And it'll be third down. When Golick and Howie Long are standing side by side, there's no room.
Golick 79. There again, he gets the penetration. He's really done a terrific job inside there this afternoon, and of course he's done a good job since he's been with the Raiders. And he's really provided a lot of pressure on Kennard, the center, who is really a very fine center for the Cardinals.
Golick now in his 10th year in the league. Third down and 1. Farrell has the first down as he gets to the 44. We're under 10 minutes remaining in the game. Los Angeles still leading 9-7.
Now this time, look at Golick. Look how far off the line of scrimmage he is, trying to read and react to what he sees, and it creates a little room there for the center to block him, and he doesn't get nearly the penetration that he did on the other play when he was right on the line of scrimmage.
Each to their own 44. Hogaboom airing it out for Jones with a catch at the 20 of Los Angeles. Ernie Jones holding on and apparently shaken up for a 35-yard gain. Terry McDaniel was right with him, but so first and 10 at the 20 for Phoenix. Big play has put them in scoring position as they trail by 2. Earl Farrell with a hole. Inside the 15 to the 14. Anderson got him around the ankle. 8.5 minutes remaining in the game.
They got off the mark pretty good that time, so did Farrell.
You think they ought to stay with the run down here, Hank? Or?
Well, they're moving the ball. Yeah, they ought to take as much time off the clock as they possibly can. They might throw a play action. They got one back here. They won't do that now.
This is their first time inside the Raiders' 20. Sikahema hit in the backfield and dropped by Scott Davis.
Reverse pivot by the quarterback, kind of a counter move. Watch the quarterback. Watch Farrell, number 31. He's going to be trapping on Townsend on the outside, but the penetration inside kept him from making any kind of progress on the play. Davis got the penetration and stopped the play. Number 7.
6'7", 275 pounds. No gain. 12th play of the drive. Hogaboom gets away from Howie Long. He is blasted at the 6-yard line. And he may be shaken up. A 9-yard run. Lyndon King and Mike Harden nearly took his head off.
Hogaboom looking. They got a crossing pattern on the right side. A missed tackle by Howie Long. And Hogaboom, who doesn't really have great speed, but he has great anticipation, slid right into first base there and really got a hit there by Lyndon King, number 52.
They marked it at the 6. It is first down and goal.
This would be a good time right here to throw a play action pass.
Farrell up the middle. Down to maybe the 2-yard line.
Well, they're getting a better push.
Hogaboom taking a knee for a moment. You can't blame him.
Bob Golick for the tackle.
Got the signal that time. Probably was on his knee.
They mark it at the 3-yard line where it is 2nd down and goal. Ron Wolfley, maybe a yard. Eddie Anderson jumping in there along with Wolfley to stop him.
Jim Schaffner, who calls the plays for the Cardinals, talking to the coach Kuhlman. They're discussing what they want in the game at this particular time, and it goes in and be anxious to see what they do.
They send in Walter Reeves, another tight end. As a couple of wide receivers come out, and they're going with the big boys on 3rd and goal at the 2. 3 tight ends. Novacek in motion. Pass to Novacek. Touchdown! The Cardinals quiet the crowd with a 3rd and goal from the 2. Novacek went into the formation and out and caught the ball for the touchdown.
Well, you talk about going up and getting it. Novacek, number 85. Look at this. He goes back and throws it to him on the outside. And really, the coverage is not that bad, really. He's right there with him. Benson is right there and watches the ball come into Novacek's hands, and he makes the catch for the touchdown.
Novacek, a decathlete in college, using a little of that leaping ability. Here's Al Del Greco for the extra point with 5:10 left to go in the game. Phoenix is back on top of the Raiders as they lead it now 14-9. 5:10 to go in the game. Del Greco and the Cardinals kick it off. Mueller and Adams are back there, and it's Mueller. Good hole. Del Greco cuts him down as he gets it into Phoenix territory, along with Jay Taylor. A 48-yard return by Vance Mueller. The Raiders will be in business when we come back. Summary of the game so far shows that Hogeboom has been able to capitalize a couple of times, and the Raiders' missed opportunities early, Hank, could probably hurt them at this point, as Phoenix, after a 90-yard drive, leads at 14-9. now the Raiders with their big returner back in with good field position.
Yeah, it's amazing how that, you score a touchdown, and for some reason or other, a lot of times you have the feeling that we're back in business and they relax a little bit and they let them right off the hook with good field position. And now, of course, the Raiders have a great opportunity to get back in this football game again.
Well, the way that the Phoenix Cardinals took the lead was on a long touchdown or drive of 90 yards, and we'll show you the touchdown once again in a moment. First and 10 Raiders after the 48-yard return by Vance Mueller. Burline throws it low and incomplete, intended for Willie Galt. It was a 3rd and goal from the 2 when Hogaboom threw it to Novacek for the TD.
This was like the old bump and run play for their outside receivers. Benson was right there in good shape, but Novacek just jumped up, out-leaped him, and made the catch. A beautiful play by Jay Novacek, number 85.
And that has given Phoenix a 14-9 lead. It is 2nd down and 10. And there's Novacek on the sideline. Burline passing quickly, complete to Galt. And Galt tackled immediately. The ball came out, but he is ruled to be down by contact. Ken Harvey on the stop. And it may be close enough for them to measure. And they are going to measure and see if it's enough for a first down. Steve Burline trying to get it going. He's under 50% completions today, but he does have 235 yards.
Tom Walsh is calling the plays for the Raiders on the sideline, sending him in to Burline.
It looks like they're going to be a tad short. A skosh shy. A bit nigh of the pole. Something like that anyway.
Yeah, I can understand that.
They didn't make it, in other words.
I have to decipher all that stuff and try to figure out what you said.
A skosh, a tad, a bit,
Oh, sure.
It was close. So now it is 3rd down in a matter of inches. But the Raiders have not been successful in their last 3rd down attempts of the last 8 times.
Advantage to the, here they come up the middle.
Jackson trying to power it in there, and the offensive line did not get a big push. Now again, there's pushing again. Lonnie Young pushing it with Trey Junkin.
They had a distinct advantage that time had they been able to run to the outside left. But they chose to go inside, and they're going to measure it now. It's going to be very close. But I think they made the necessary yardage for the first down.
4:26 remain to be played in the ball game, and it is yet to be decided, rather. Art Shell undefeated at home since taking over for Mike Shanahan, 5-0. First down Raiders. And that first down right there, Hank, might go a long way to keep him undefeated here at home. When Phoenix had the ball and drove 90 yards, they ate up almost 9 minutes on the clock. Here in the second half, the Raiders are averaging just 1.9 yards per play on first down. The first half, they averaged 11.5 yards per play on first down. Burline knocked down, and it's going to be a sack for Rod Sadler, the 4th time Phoenix has gotten to Burline.
Sadler got the penetration like he was in the huddle. Got off the ball in good shape, and there he is right up the middle. It didn't look like anybody got a piece of him at all. Burline was lucky enough to duck underneath the would-be blow, but it's still a sack, and they lose yardage on the play.
Had he maintained his feet, Freddie Joe Nunn was there ready to finish him off. The ball is back at the 44 of Phoenix. Second down, 18. Burline firing complete to Mike Dial. And the big tight end is inside the 35. Ken McDonald and Lonnie Young stopping.
Playing this kind of defense, the tight end should be open. Here's Dial coming to the outside, makes a square move, makes the catch against the zone. Young jumps up on top and makes the tackle. And of course, McDonald is trying to help out too, but Young is the one that really made the tackle.
He bulldogged him down after a gain of 12. Third down and 6. Too tall, intended for Mervin Fernandez, and a penalty flag goes down as Carl Carter busts him out of bounds and maybe hit him too early. Carter can't believe it.
Pass interference. Defense, number 41, first down.
When you see a player take his helmet off, you know he's hot. Hank Kuhlman just took his hat off.
And he's hot. Let's see what happened here. Now the ball is thrown high. Well, he pushed him out of bounds. That's what he did. In the process of falling, he gave him a shove, and that's why they called it.
But they called interference.
I can't understand that.
I could understand if they called him for hitting him late, but they called it as pass interference, and I didn't see it.
I didn't either. I thought maybe that's why they were calling it at the end of the play, but if it's pass interference, I didn't see any pass interference.
The pass interference call is being reviewed right now, apparently, by the replay official Bill Swanson. So Carter, who is still walking around in total disbelief, may get a reprieve. Here's the announcement.
Pass interference. Defense, number 41, first down.
So it is upheld by the replay official as being pass interference.
I sure didn't see it or couldn't see it.
Well, it moves the ball to the 18-yard line, and it is the 6th play of the drive for Oakland. And the pass interference penalty on third down keeps the drive alive. Steve Smith trying to cut back, but Sadler's right there waiting for him. So Los Angeles will face a second down in about 9 as he gained 1. Now we're under 2.5 minutes to play in the game. Phoenix leading LA 14-9. From the 22. Good protection. Dial again over the middle, close to the first down. It looks like he has it. For those of you tuning in expecting to see 60 Minutes, we welcome you to CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League. Along with Hank Stram, this is Steve Zabriskie in the LA Coliseum, where the Phoenix Cardinals lead 14-9 over the LA Raiders. And we will return to Los Angeles in just a minute. Under 2 minutes to play. Phoenix leading by 5, but the Raiders with first and 10 at the Phoenix 13. Each team with a full complement of 3 timeouts remaining as Furline tries to quiet the crowd. Jackson. Smith with a block. Jackson hurdling to the 4.
That's what we talked about a little while ago. He really hasn't run outside that much. And to get him a head start and get him a little depth that time, they sent him in motion and pitched the ball to him. And they get a good block out in front, just enough room. Smith gets the block out in front. And of course, Bo Jackson in space. He's hard to tackle.
Jackson had been held in check here in the second half after 103 yards in the first half. Prior to that 9-yard run, he had gained only 2 in the second half.
I still don't understand why they didn't let him run to the I formation. That's what he does best.
Well, they now have it. Second down. About a yard to go. Timeout now is called by Los Angeles. They're on the 4-yard line. 1:50 to play when we return to the Coliseum. This place is far from full, but they're making plenty of noise as the Raiders trail by 5. They took their first timeout. They have 2 remaining with 1:50 to play. Hogeboom with 2 TD passes. The Raiders have not yet scored a touchdown, but they have second down and 1 at the Phoenix 4-yard line. Close to a first down. And of course, they go to the money man when they get down here, Hank.
Who else? Who else, huh?
We'll see if they do, in fact, have enough for a first down. It will give them first and goal at the 3. And Art Shell waits to look. It is not enough for a first down. It is going to be third down and about a foot to go. Smith, the penalty flag is down as Smith gets the first down, but is it against Los Angeles? The head linesman, Tom Johnson, made the call.
False start. Offense, number 68, still third down.
Bruce Wilkerson called for a penalty for the 3rd time today. Let's look for number 68.
The right tackle. There he is. It looked more like the right guard got off that time than it did the right tackle, didn't it?
It did. It might have been Wisniewski who moved too early at 76. A reminder that 60 Minutes goes past the barbed wire and the guard dogs to visit a place none of us ever imagined we would see, a Russian labor camp for political prisoners. 60 Minutes coming up next, except in the Mountain and Pacific time zones, where you will see 60 Minutes at its regular time. 1:22 remaining in the game. The penalty moves the ball back to the 8 of Phoenix. And instead of being first and goal at the 3, it is third down and about 5 yards to go. 5 yards and a foot. Into the end zone and overthrowing is Berline. He had Steve Smith and Mervyn Fernandez there. But the clock stops with 1:18 to play, and it'll be fourth down for the Raiders. They trail by 5, so the field goal won't do them much good.
Boy, that is really murder, isn't it, to get down to that close that many times in this game and not be able to score a touchdown.
This is not the first time it's happened today, but it's certainly the most crucial time for them to have a penalty. Timeout is called by Phoenix with 1:18 remaining in the game. The moon is rising here in Los Angeles, but could the sun be setting on the Raiders' playoff hopes? Denver has lost to the New York Giants 14-7 this afternoon. The Raiders at 7-6 must win their 3 remaining games, and now they trail 14-9 with 1:18 left to play here, and they're faced with 4th and 5.
Be interested to see if they roll him out this time. They haven't done that very much, and I don't know whether the knee part of it is a factor.
It's officially 4th and 6 as they need to get an extra foot or so for a first down. And preliminary movement. Flags fly, and who was it? Was Phoenix pulled off, or did they jump off?
They're all pointing at each other. Phoenix is pointing to the Raiders, and the Raiders are pointing at Phoenix.
And the preliminary indication is that it is against Phoenix. We're going to have another officials conference on this one. The ball game could hang in the balance on this call. Let's hear what Dick Hantak has to say after the officials' conference.
Offside. Defense penalized half the distance. It will still be 4th down.
So the Raiders will not have as far to go as it'll move it to the 4-yard line.
That's a long way to go in this part of the field, I guarantee it.
They need about 1.5 yards to get a first down. Hank Kuhlman looking on, and Art Shell getting ready to maybe send Marcus Allen into the game. And now the Raiders use a timeout. They have 1 timeout remaining. And this will just be a 40-second timeout. Well, tonight here on CBS, 60 Minutes will kick off the Sunday night lineup as usual. That'll be followed by Angela Lansbury in Murder, She Wrote. And then Kevin Dobson stars in the CBS Sunday movie, Money, Power, Murder. That's all tonight, right here on.
Sometimes, however, as you know, sometimes you think long, you think wrong.
That's right. In every sport.
There's Al Davis biting his nails up there in the press box.
Willie Gault is out of there as they've gone with the big guys again, the big tight formation, Dial on the wing, and a tackle eligible, and Steve Wright is tight end. Marcus Allen over the top for the first down.
A lot of deliberation about that call, but it was a good call, especially giving it to Marcus Allen. On that kind of a situation, he's a great leaper, and he's done that many, many times. He's got good timing and gets off his feet and into the end zone. I mean, necessary yardage for the first down.
Phoenix calls a timeout. The Cardinals stopping the clock with 56 seconds remaining.
See him leap, and he's got a good lean. A lot of times a guy will leap and he'll stay straight up in the air, straight, instead of bending like he did. He had a good lean that time and got in there for the first down.
The ball is resting between the 1 and 2 yard line. And the Raiders, who have had to settle for 3 field goals in 5 attempts, have been unable to punch it in. Must do it here in the last 56 seconds or forget about the playoffs this season.
I'll tell you one thing about Art Shell. He's under control down there. He doesn't look like he's very nervous, does he?
Nope. Furline again trying to get the crowd to settle down so they can hear the call on 1st and goal. Smith. Did he make it? No signal yet. Apparently he did not.
It really looked like they got a pretty good push, but evidently he didn't make it.
Now the Raiders use their final timeout.
Their 3rd and final timeout. This is a 40-second timeout.
43 seconds left in the game.
There he is. He goes into that pile. Somebody got penetration. A Cardinal got penetration.
Seconds left in the game. And it is 2nd down and goal from about the 1-foot line. This is the 13th play of this lengthy Raiders drive in an attempt to win the game. Marcus Allen is in there and he has the ball. Touchdown!
We see the surge by the offensive line, and watch Marcus Allen. See, the nice thing about it is, as he's running, he's looking and seeing where the gap is. He didn't just leap blindly into the area. He veered off to his left a little bit while he's in the air. and got in there for the touchdown.
The extra point is good. A 2-point ball game with 40 seconds to go as Los Angeles has forged back in front. Marcus Allen doing what he does so well. Probably got perfect marks on the dive even from the East German judge. Usher out to the 30. So pretty good field position for Phoenix with now 35 seconds remaining.
And that was a terrible kickoff. Terrible time to make that kind of a kick.
It looked like his foot hit the ground. So now the game is in the hands of Hogaboom, the Phoenix offense, and the Los Angeles defense. Phoenix has 1 timeout remaining. Hogaboom will run it, headed for the sideline, and out of bounds at the 45. He has a first down, but he ate up 9 seconds on the clock. A 15-yard gain. 26 seconds to play. 60 minutes follows, except from the West and Mountain Time Zone. Batted back to Hogaboom and incomplete. The clock stops with 21 seconds remaining. If you are thinking field goal, should Phoenix get themselves into position, Del Greco is a 50-yarder.
Well, really what they have to do here, Steve, they got one more timeout left. They got to get the ball, try to get a ball about 18 or 20 yards down the field. And if they get to that spot, then call timeout.
Right. Del Greco's career longest is 51 yards. Over the middle, complete. Don Holmes hit immediately. 10-yard gain. Phoenix does not want to use that last timeout, but there are now 7 seconds left to play. Hogaboom will throw it out of bounds. 1 second. Did the time run out? Did time run out before the ball got out of bounds? Hogaboom is angry. Hank Kuhlman is livid.
He really should have just gone back into the pocket and threw it right down to the ground right away.
He threw a floater out of bounds, and it took a long time to get there.
That's exactly what happened. All he had to do was throw the ball into the ground as soon as he got the snap, and that would have preserved it in good shape. The blooper, he threw out of bounds. That helium ball killed the clock, and that was the end of the ball game. What a bizarre finish for the Cardinals.
Hogaboom and Golick talking, and the time runs out as the ball floats harmlessly out of bounds. Watch the ball have to be reset by the official. I think one of the Raiders kicked it.
Okay, here, but right now he ought to just spike the ball. Look how much time it takes to deliver the ball over the top, and the time expired while the ball was in the air.
Garth Jacks caught that ball. There was 1 second remaining on the clock. We'll be back, and I'm sure they'll talk about this for a long time.